I bought the cheapest electric car in the country. It's a Nissan Leaf from 2013. I paid just £1,500 for it through CarWow. But was it a mistake? Oh bollocks. This is really worrying. We're going to find out. To do that, I'm going to test the real world range of this car to see how much life is still in this battery. So I'm going to charge it fully, then drive it until it actually conks out to not only see what the real world range is on this car, but exactly what happens when you run out of battery. I'm actually going to try and drive it to a battery testing station, which will be able to analyse exactly how much of its battery is still living and how much of it has died in the 10 years that this car has been on the road. What could possibly go wrong?
A few moments later.
Things haven't got off to a very good start. So I charged the battery completely overnight and it said the range with a full battery was just 59 miles. From new, Nissan said this car would do 124 miles on a full charge. To make matters worse, I drove the car once it was full, just 100 metres to this location to film the intro, and the range dropped by 2 miles and is now showing 57 miles. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Oh dear, look, just sat here, it's gone down again by 1 mile to 56. What's going on here? I haven't really got the ventilation system on or anything. I am very worried. We'd better get underway. Before we do though, I better zero the trip and we'll see exactly how far this car will go before it runs out of charge. Okay, so I have now done 300 metres and the range has already dropped to 53 miles. What the heck is going on? Oh, sorry, 52 miles. This is really worrying. Now, the Nissan Leaf has 2 gauges. There's this one there, which is your battery capacity, so how much charge is in your battery. But this second gauge there down the side, that actually shows how much life is left in your battery. So it should have 12 bars. This one has 9, so that's 75% of the battery is still remaining according to this gauge. But I'm not convinced because, look, I've still done less than a mile and I've now got 51 miles of range left. I don't think I'm getting to this battery testing facility at all. Oh, wait a minute, it's just gone back up to 52. Maybe the car's trick computer has lost its mind. Oh, the jeopardy. After just 1.3 miles, I've had to pull over for an emergency change of plan. You see, I used Google Maps to work out the route to get me to the battery testing facility, and it opted for the quickest route, not the shortest route. So what I've done is inputted the destination to the Nissan's own inbuilt sat-nav. Ooh, we've got the tech on this car, and it's come back with 33 miles, so I'm going to follow this sat-nav rather than Google, though I don't think it has all the traffic kind of information, but oh well, I'm going to go with the lowest number. It's got to be the best option, right? Okay, so there's nothing really dodgy about this car's kind of computer, its brain, because I just pulled out of the parking lot, and now the distance to the destination has got up to 39 miles. What? Oh, and my range has just dropped to 50. Is this possessed, this car, or something? It just doesn't... mad. As I'm driving, I'm going to try and stick to the speed limits, you know, drive like you'd normally like to drive, because there's no point having a car that you just have to drive along at 20 mile an hour in a blooming 50. Let's see how this thing handles. Hold on, Adam. It handles like a jelly. I mean, this car's only done like 44,000 miles in total, so to be fair, the suspension and everything feels fine, though I imagine with a car that has a claimed range of 124 miles, it's quite hard to rack up loads and loads of miles like you would in an internal combustion engine car, because you're forever going to be pulling over and charging it up. Do you know what though? For £1,500, it's actually an alright drive. What does that little tree mean? Oh, it's my eco driving. It's gone back up to 50 miles this range. It's crazy. I'll tell you what, this car feels pretty nippy. Not as nippy as that EV6, so it's getting a bit fed up at me. But it's nippy nonetheless. 109 horsepower, driving the front wheels. Pressing the accelerator like that is going to deplete my battery, and what I can do is put the car into eco mode so it makes it a little bit less responsive to the throttle. That has actually increased the range. That could be vital, though it does make it feel like the accelerator pedal doesn't really work. One thing I've noticed driving this is a very high-pitched whine from either the motor or the inverter. It's a bit like I got tinnitus. Do you know what I mean, Adam? Can you tell? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to pick up on the mic, but we can definitely hear it, despite running in eco mode. So I've got 32 miles remaining, and to get to the destination it's 30 miles. In terms of battery capacity remaining, we've got 8 out of 12, a third of our charge in 10.7 miles. This is going to be so close. We've just driven through a town and we're going down a hill, so I've got my foot slightly on the brake to do some regen, put some energy back into the battery, and look, it's got up 36 miles of range now. There's something you need to know when you're buying an old used Nissan Leaf. Back in the day, the range started from £21,000, and that actually included a £5,000 government grant towards the price of the car. However, if you wanted to save even more money, you could opt to buy the car without its battery pack and then lease the battery pack from Nissan. That meant you could bring the price down to about £16,000. However, you would then have to pay about £100 a month to lease the battery. The problem with that is that there are some cars still out there which were bought under that system. You might be paying 1,500 quid for the old used Nissan Leaf, but not know that you still have to pay Nissan £100 a month to lease the battery on that car. Now, normally dealers will tell you which car is which, but some sellers may not, so you have to be very careful when buying one of these used. Look at this though, the range has now gone up to 40. Oh bollocks, the road is closed. What has that done? Oh, it's added 2 miles. I think I've just figured out the genius of electric cars. You know, when you buy internal combustion engine cars, you're always a little bit worried about how they're maintained, service history, how are they driven, were they properly run in, and there's always a fear that something's going to go wrong. And I just don't think that you're going to get that kind of issues with electric cars. What can go wrong? There's not much that can go wrong with an electric motor. I just think they're going to be more economical and less of a risk. In future, when they come onto the used market and they get really old, I think they're really going to help people get about in the most affordable way. I've never thought about it like that before, and this car is making me think that right now. And while I might not be able to drive it as far as I could in a cheap internal combustion engine car, for just running around town and stuff like that, definitely better. This kind of driving I'm doing now on a 60 is not great for this car. So I'm now at 23.9 miles, down to 80 miles of range, 20 miles to go. But I've just come into a 30, so hopefully the range will start increasing again, because I have not got enough range to make it to my destination, especially not if I go into normal drive mode. Oh, I've just been driving for the last few miles, not in eco mode. Don't worry, it's only a few miles, but still. Now this is where an electric car is very good. So we're shunting along in crappy traffic, not using or wasting any energy while we're stationary. I have had something flag up there on the sat nav. It says charge recommendation. We are going to ignore the recommendation because we are doing car science. There we go, national speed limit again. Let's get some regen down this hill. Just lightly touching the brake. Hey, that worked. Gave me a mile back. So I've used 2/3 of the battery for 25 miles, 18 to go. It's not great, is it? Let's have a little look around what exactly I have bought. Nissan Leaf in this lovely electric blue, which I think is the most common colour. This is the mid-spec Ascenta version, so it was £24,000 after the £5,000 government grant, but it did mean you get things like, look, a reversing camera. Ooh. It also came with 16-inch alloy wheels instead of the standard steel wheels. Let's have a quick look at the brakes here. I can see that the rear brake pads will need replacing. There's not much meat left on those. And the tyres here on the rear are some budget brand called, oh look, Prestivo or something. But they were made in 2022. A few scuffs down the side here. And on the other side, there's some weird dents in the door. Tell this has been left out, like just underneath some trees or something, because you've got some moss growing in there and other bits and pieces. Generally though, apart from some scratches and stuff down the side, it's okay. There are some scuffs, but only on the front alloy wheels. Speaking of which, the brakes here at the front, they've got a bit more meat in them. They are better. The tyres are a bit older, they're 2019s, but they are Pirellis. Moving to the front, you can probably see this bit here, look. See that? Doesn't quite line up. I think this bumper has been replaced because it doesn't quite match the colour of the rest of the car. Let's have a look, see under the bonnet. See what we've got here. Come on, where are you? Where's the release? There. There's some form of wood chipping here, look in there. Now I'm hoping that that has been near somebody like chopping some trees or something like that, and that's not caused by mice, because that could be very, very problematic. Overall though, 1,500 quid doesn't look bad at all. And the great thing about having a car such as this, which has some scuffs on it and had a bit of a life, you don't mind if it just picks up a few more. And that makes it great for just, oh, I've just scratched it a bit more. Yeah, so you don't really care. That's the beauty of a car like this. You can just drive it and forget about it. Considering the price of this car, the interior is actually pretty decent. So you've got the light trim, though it does mean that the seats do have a sort of a dirty look to them. You can't tell this on camera, but there's a bit of a damp smell in here. And one thing I've noticed is that there's a touch of mold here on the seat belts. I wonder if this car has had a bit of a leak at some point, or maybe there is a steady leak. Anyhow, under here you've got some storage, which is all right, some storage areas down here. You've got your USB input there. You've got Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone to the infotainment system, and this being the centre has upgraded satellite navigation. It also comes with the cruise control, which you didn't get as standard. Storage is all right, like I can fit my big bottle in the door bin, and the glove box is a decent size. Look, we've got the manual and everything, like all the documentation. I'm not sure what this is. What the heck's this? Rechargeable dehumidifier. Ha ha! My nose didn't fail me. Yes, this car is a little bit damp. I've actually got all the documentation for it here in the door. Let's have a look at it. So, there we go. It has had 2 former keepers before the person that had it last. So 3 former keepers before me, which isn't bad. And it's done just over 44,000 miles. Definitely smells damp. Make sure the electric windows work. Oh dear, please go up. Oh. Oh, it's all right towards the end. How about the passenger one? Go up. Please. Oh. Right, and then we've got rear windows, but they seem to be a little bit better. Yeah, they're better. I'm just going to check out the back seats while I'm at it. So, pretty roomy. Headroom's good. Got ISOFIX anchor points. Feels like a bit of a bargain. I just wish it wasn't quite so dirty, but I reckon I could get this detailed and probably have it looking spick and span in no time at all and get rid of that strange smell. So, this car's got locking wheel nuts. I haven't seen the locking wheel nut anywhere. I've got charging cables here. What are these ones? Okay, that's the ones that you plug into a public charger. This is your 3-pin socket for at home. What's under here? Nothing. It's a decent sized boot. Show me about this ledge, look. See what I mean? Fold the seats down. Anyhow, what's in here? Please be, yes it is, thankfully. That's your tyre repair kit. What's this? Be the locking wheel nut, because if I haven't got it, I'm screwed. Yes, there it is. The locking wheel nut is there. And then we've got the toolkit. That's all pretty decent. I'm quite impressed with this car. Let's continue driving it to see how far we can get. 3 bars of battery, so that's 25%, 30 miles of range and 13 miles to go. Everything to play for. Driving along, I've just noticed something. A little bit of wind noise from here. Don't seem to be getting it over the other side. And I'm just wondering if there's a slightly leaky door seal or something which is causing that. It's one of the things about electric cars. You notice other noises because you don't have any noise from an internal combustion engine. So as the cars get older, you're probably going to notice more rattles and squeaks. Though to be fair, this car doesn't rattle or squeak at all. Oh, 2 bars of battery left and 10 miles, 9 to go. I wonder what this thing will do as it starts to run out. Will it just reduce the power? Will it just stop suddenly? It's been on 11 miles for quite a few miles now. I don't know what to make of it. I think the only thing that really matters is the state of charge. That's on 12 miles. Make up your mind. All right, so I've done just over 43 miles, 2 miles to the destination, 30 miles of range left. I wonder if this car's actually going to end up doing the exact 59 miles that it pledged to at the very beginning of this video. Well, we're almost there. Range has gone back down to 12. Let's just pop into our destination very briefly. I'm here with Matt from Cleveland Electric Vehicles, and Matt is an expert when it comes to not only selling used electric cars, but also checking the health of them. We're going to check the health of the battery in this car. We're going to hook it up to some big diagnostic machines.
We've actually found that a third-party app created by owners and lovers of the Nissan Leaf is the best tool to use. So it's called Leaf Spy. Connect it to the OBD port and go in on an app. So simple as that, we've connected to the car and we can see the data come up on the screen straight away. So it knows it's a 24 kilowatt hour battery. Its state of health, dramatic pause, 70%.
According to the little dial in the car, it's saying there's 75%. That's close enough, isn't it?
The indicators on the side are roughly for a vehicle owner to be able to see what the state of health of the battery is.
Normally it has 24 kilowatt hours. There's 22 kilowatt hours usable, so it's 70% of your 22 kilowatt hours, 15.4 kilowatt hours. Now, according to the manufacturer, range of 124 miles, so we should be doing around 87 miles on a full charge this car. I've done 46 and it's saying that I've got 9 miles remaining and 1 bar, but this is saying I've got pretty much almost 25% of the battery in reality. So it's going to be interesting to see how far I can actually go. Overall though, Matt, what do you think about the battery in this car? Is it a good one or a bad one?
Given its age, it's a good one. You've lost 30% of your battery the last 11 years.
We've got a good car, so guess how much I paid for this?
£3,000?
It's 1,500 quid.
That is good because they are such a reliable car.
This device and the app, how much is it?
About 20 quid for the app. Yeah.
Is that all?
There are a lot of Leaf owners that have this because of how good it is. We do a lot of upgrades on this Nissan Leaf.
Okay, have you got any other battery packs?
We've got a stock of them. This is some of the batteries we've removed over the last few years of doing battery swaps on Nissan Leaf. The reports are all on them as well, so we know what state of charge it was when it was removed, and we'll label it if there's an error. As you can see on the one that I showed you, this has an 8 millivolt spread between the best and the worst.
Isn't it? Okay.
Really good, but it's got an insulation error. There are the occasion where the cells will leak to earth. The battery pack and the ECU internally monitors that all the time, so it's very, very safe. The car will flag it and it won't drive and it won't allow that high voltage to work properly. I've got an example here of one of the cells out of the same battery as in yours. So we've got the terminals here, and you can see it's all swollen up.
Yep.
Yeah, we can actually see on the end here how there has been an incident. It's modular, as you can see. We can take out a faulty cell and put a new one in.
Okay, then you could sell this, and you do a thing where you, for instance, if my battery pack was really low, I could buy one that's come out of another car with like maybe 70% like mine from you guys. How much would you sell a 70% state of health battery pack for a Leaf?
We could supply and fit it for around £2,000.
My car only costs like 1,500 quid, so I'm on to a winner. Can I actually upgrade the pack to one of the bigger ones from a later car?
Yes, you can.
And so how much does it cost to do that swap?
About £8,500.
So that's quite expensive, because what's happened to the price of the Leaf and other EVs?
They have gone down a bit. You can get a 40 kilowatt hour complete car for around 10ish now, or just under. Such as the demand for used EV batteries for home solar storage, things like that. They are actually being kept up for the price of the battery. So, so if you were to crash or write off a 40 kilowatt hour, the main value of that car is in that battery pack, and that gets sold on to people like us who are upgrading older cars, keeping what would be worthless or obsolete vehicle still on the road.
So Matt, we've got my Leaf up on the ramp. What are the key things to look out for on these mechanically?
Well, as you can see, you can't see a great deal because there's plastic covers everywhere. Your battery essentially goes from around here, so you can see a big orange cable in there. Yeah. So the battery goes all the way back then just to finish just before that back axle. The rest is just car stuff. So you've got suspension arms and anti-roll bar links that can cause knocking noises, things like that. Your main drive motor's just up through there.
Is that maintenance free?
The motor is, yeah.
What about the other bits?
We mentioned that it's got a diff and a drive box, so it does have a litre of oil in it, so it's important to have regular oil changes in there.
How often do you do that?
So Nissan don't advise it at all, but we advise it every 30 to 40,000 miles to keep the oil fresh.
So it might be worth doing it in this car if I'm keeping it. Okay.
I would recommend it if you're keeping it. Right. But other than that, they're pretty bomb-proof.
What does it look like considering it's 10 years old?
So I would expect to see a little bit more rust on it, but it's a very clean car.
Okay, let's check out the back. I looked at the brakes, I think the rears might be a little bit low.
Probably worth looking at getting those done at some point.
I'll tell you what's not so good though, it's got a leak on the inside.
Not uncommon on a Leaf, unfortunately. Sometimes the windscreens can leak or the bodies can crack on the sealant just with the flex of the shell, and water can trace its way through any tiny little gap.
Do you know what? Let's get off the ramp. I'm going to get on the road again. I'm going to see how far I can actually go in this car. And what will happen when you run it completely out of electricity? Will it suddenly just stop, or will it slowly reduce its power?
So you'll get plenty of warnings. So it currently says 9 miles on the dashboard. 8, that's your kind of cut-off point, and then it'll just go to dashes, and it'll reduce the power that you can draw from the high voltage battery, so you'll have less power pulling away and whilst you're driving, and then it will just fade to a stop.
Okay, well, we'll see how that all plays out very soon. Let's get on the road. Now off camera I was talking to one of the guys in Cleverley Electric Vehicles, and they had a couple of Leafs for sale. Both of them were the later 30 kilowatt hour battery pack versions. Apparently the batteries on those aren't as good as these earlier ones with the 24 kilowatt hour batteries. They don't seem to last as well. So that's something to bear in mind if you're thinking about getting one of these as a very cheap used runaround. Oh look, low battery, down to 5 miles of range now. Don't want to break down here. We're going back the way we came, which means those hills that are rolled down, I've now got to climb up them on very low charge. So what happens if I put it into like the normal drive mode now? Only a pep, it hasn't affected the range either. Let's put it back into eco. Well, we've done 51 miles now. That's okay. Okay, that's it. 3 miles of range. Now I'm just getting 3 lines. This car is on its last legs. Very low battery charge level. Do you want to search for a nearby charging station? Nope. So I reckon we've got 3 miles from now, so that's 52. Maybe we'll get to 55 miles. I wonder if I put it into normal drive mode, I can get all the dots for full power. Yeah, still giving me full power. It's crazy. I think we've got some way to go yet. We've now done 55 miles, so I'm driving on a 50 limit, but I'm keeping my speed to around 45 just to help me eke out a little bit of extra distance. Oh, I've had a serious loss of power. Little tortoise sign says it's on a go slow mode now. 60.1 miles, hardly any power. I've got my foot to the floor. How far would it go now? Even if I'm in normal drive mode, the performance is the same. Try and maintain momentum around this bend. The Leaf actually handles pretty decent because you've got that weight load down in the car. It doesn't lean too much in the bends. Oh, I see a car coming this way. Oh no, I want to go that way as well. Not an ideal sitch. Just do the same loop. That's a good idea. Look, watch this. I'm going to go back on myself. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, I'm going backwards. Yeah. Come on, there's nothing. There's a man with a van there. Looks like people can get around me. I actually probably parked in the best place possible. In total, we did 60.9 miles. I'm going to call the RAC. They'll come and get me. I've actually got the RAC on speed dial because we planned this little trip that they're ready on standby to come and help us. I've broken down here. And I've actually done it in what is possibly the best place ever because he'll be able to get his truck just in front of me and tow me. Yay! I wonder if it'll still roll back this. Oh, poo, it won't even go into neutral. Well, there we go, neutral. But it's not allowing it to roll back. Let's see if it will move. Miguel, can you push this? Just back a bit. Because if it doesn't move, we could be in trouble. Yeah, it's moving. That's fine. So it lets you go into neutral, which is really handy. So we should be able to get it on the RAC truck. I couldn't have picked a better spot for breaking down. Look, lovely, scenic, getting a lot of attention, but people can drive past. It did 60 miles. Is that okay? That's Chris. I just bashed my head off sign. Looks like it is dangerous parking here. So there we go, just over 60 miles and it's got 75% of battery charge. I think from new, this wouldn't have done 124 miles as claimed by Nissan. It would have done about 80 miles. But you know, 1,500 quid, get you around the village and stuff like that. Absolute bargain. There's not much to go wrong. And as long as you plan your charge, you shouldn't ever end up needing this guy here. Because electric cars are just far simpler than internal combustion engine cars. I think this is actually a win for the Nissan Leaf. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you want to watch some more videos, I've picked a couple out for you there I think you'll like. Just click on those windows to watch them. Or if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. You can do that just by hitting the Carwow logo there. Simple.